you don't have to put the members right out of the service immediately. But just think of the stimulus that would come if all the military that came home would be spending their money here instead of in Germany and Japan and South Korea. That would help. But we have to change overall policy. Policy is necessary, whether it's domestic, economic, or foreign policy. It's not, as bad as the budget is, it's not a budgetary problem. The budgetary problem and the debt and the deficit and the taxation problem is a consequence that we as a people have allowed the role of government to become something that was never intended. That we have become the policemen of the world, and we have an entitlement system that is totally out of control. I mean, nobody can even figure out the thousands, like 60 or 70, sometimes people put down $100 trillion of obligation where the obligation is promised to pay and there's no money in the bank. So we have to change our course. We have to ask, what is the purpose of government? And I think the purpose of government is very clear. All we have to do is read the Constitution. We know what the purpose of government is. And that is to protect our liberties, provide for a strong national defense, have honest money, defend the free market system. And this, if we could just get some confidence back, I don't think you have to wait till every problem is solved, because our big problem today is lack of confidence. And if we see people coming back home, it would make a difference. People say, oh, that's terrible, you don't want to do that. All you have to do is go and study what happened after World War II. I think we're like 7 million people in the military, and most of them came home. 4 or 5 million people came home, and they just went into the economy. And there were no programs to take care of them. GI Bill maybe, but no. Where did the jobs come from? Well, they slashed military spending, like 60% or 70%. Taxes went down 30%. All the men and women came home, and we finally got over the Depression. So even the fact that they're coming home isn't a threat economically if we change the conditions. So the answers are out there. We need more faith and confidence and freedom, and we can refine it. We don't have to go back to the Dark Ages. We only had a small test of freedom. And we had the best test in this country. We had been the freest and the most prosperous country ever, and right now we're losing it. We've sort of given up on it, and the anger is growing, and we have people like you that will come and know that we need less government, but there's a lot of people out there that are going to be very upset because they've come to the conclusion that they have a different definition of rights than we do. They think an entitlement is a right. They have been told and taught, well, I'm entitled to a job, medical care, housing, and taken care of from cradle to grave. And if they don't get it, they feel like somebody took their rights away. They're just not being ignored. Somebody's just taking away their rights. And you can see this in European cities. And you've seen a little bit here. And as the world is unwinding. See, this is not a U.S. problem. This is a worldwide problem, because we have been the issuers of the reserve currency, the paper currency of the world. So every country essentially is involved, including China, the whole rest. It's all a gross distortion of the way it should be. So there's going to have to be a lot of wringing out of this economy. And my biggest concern, of course, is the threat to liberty. But there's a bigger threat, if we have breakdown of law and order. And that is the reason this understanding about what rights are so important. And it's not easily done. Those who are paying certainly understand it, because when I tell people what we have to do, I tell people, I say, if we do what I suggest, you don't have to sacrifice anything. If I give you your freedom back, and I don't want the government to regulate your life, and I don't want to spend your money overseas in needless wars, and I don't want to invade your privacy, and I want you to keep what you earn, what are you sacrificing? I would think we should be happy with that.